Are the wars in Israel and Ukraine more than the United States can take on at the same time?
We're the United States of America, for God's sake. The most powerful nation in the history, not in the world, in the history of the world. The history of the world. We can take care of both of these and still maintain our overall international defense.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the direction that America is currently heading down. As we all know, the U.S. national debt has reached $33 trillion. Congress is spending like a drunk sailor, many people have compared it to. We're at a point right now where national credit rating reduced. We're at a point right now. We're also heading towards a government shutdown that was avoided about 2 or 3 weeks ago. The spending for Ukraine was a huge deal at that particular time. And part of what got Kevin McCarthy ousted was the fact that, the spending was pushed without being able to really read through the bill in its entirety. McCarthy has been moved since that time, and the new person who is going to be the Speaker of the House is likely going to push for a stoppage of work for the government. There's a whole lot of thought right now, and many people are confused. President Biden last night had a address to the nation, and in the address, he spoke about the U.S.'s willingness and the support that they're willing to give to both Ukraine and to Israel in terms of support for their wars that they're currently going through right now. We are at a point right now where the interest rate on the Federal Reserve funds rate is at a high point. The overall debt, we've gained over $1 trillion in the last 3 months, I believe, and the spending is only continuing. This is going to equate to higher taxes. The Trump tax cuts that were in place are set to expire here in 2025. We have a lot of things that are coming towards us right now. Eventually, the Federal Reserve will have to lower interest rates, and when it does, that will increase the cost of assets around the country. We're at a pretty dire point right now. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video from last night's address, and we can talk a little bit about what President Biden said at this time.
So if we don't stop Putin's appetite for power and control in Ukraine, he won't limit himself just to Ukraine. Putin's already threatened to remind Poland that their Western land was a gift from Russia. American leadership is what holds the world together. American alliances are what keep us, America, safe. American values are what make us a partner that other nations want to work with. To put all that at risk, if we walk away from Ukraine, if we turn our backs on Israel, it's just not worth it. That's why tomorrow I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine. Is a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations. Help us keep American troops out of harm's way. Help us build a world that is safer, more peaceful, more prosperous for our children and grandchildren. In Israel, we must make sure that they have what they need to protect their people today and always. The security package I'm sending to Congress and asking Congress to do is an unprecedented commitment to Israel's security that will sharpen Israel's qualitative military edge, which we've committed to, the qualitative military edge. We're going to make sure Iron Dome continues to guard the skies over Israel. We're going to make sure other hostile actors in the region know that Israel is stronger than ever and prevent this conflict from spreading.
Family, what you just heard was the president announce that the spending is going to increase, if not accelerate. As we're dealing right now with inflation here in America, as we're dealing with the cost of everyday living rising, that right there likely equates to a $200 billion declaration that he just proposed in terms of support. So far, we've given Ukraine over $100 billion, and now this war with Israel, as they progress, eventually this is going to become more and more escalated. We've seen the defense stocks have risen sharply over the last week or two as Israel has gone into war. America is on a path right now. We're in the midst of heading into a recession, if not already in a recession. The cost of everything is rising. Home prices have not fallen. And with the continued spending that is to occur, that just means money will be moved from one sector to another. What I'm saying and what I propose here is that we're heading towards a depression. In 1900s, what happened was during Great World War One, the U.S. had come through a world war with the Germans. They had spent so much money that their economy was not ready to pick up again. In the early 20s, they lowered rates and they were able to have a booming time, which symbolize, have a lot of similarities to where we are right now. And the constant budget eating, the constant money going out is creating a scenario where that situation can occur once more. The cost and the overall look at businesses who produce the tax revenue, who produce the jobs that support many of these endeavors, are being attacked a lot by the current administration. They're pro unions, different things like this. As the cost of employment, as the cost of goods continue to rise due to the higher wages, due to the higher spending, due to all of these things, it continues to put a higher and higher burden. So I think in particular, we're heading to either two options, either a depression or hyperinflation. Hyperinflation would be where the country just keep printing money and printing money and printing money. In the next few years, U.S. debt is going to be rolling over. It's going to go from the low rates of 0.25% and 1%, and it's going to be repurposed at a 4% rate, at a 5% rate, which will again add on to the interest rate. Imagine your credit card payments going from 10% on your debt to 25%. This is essentially what's going to happen here in America. So there's a whole lot that's happening. Again, if there's only two options really, you either keep it at 20 at that high rate, or you lower it, and then the cost of money becomes abundant once more, which again sends prices even higher. So we're at where America's kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and we'll see exactly how this turns out. But overall, right now, I think it's time where we as Americans do our best to prepare ourselves for this. I have friends and family that I speak to all the time, and they're looking in the process of buying homes. Many of them said recently, I should have bought a home in 2019 because they see what's happening. The more unstable the rest of the world is, the more money will flock to America because of the sense of stability that's currently here. So, which again increases the cost of assets. If China is kind of in the midst of a serious recession, deflationary economy, the Middle East is in terms of war. All of those people who have money will look to move their money from those areas in order to protect it, that it won't be lost in those areas. And again, America it's likely the most stable place that you can find. So expect more dollars to flow in, expect more people to invest in assets. The U.S. housing market is one of the strongest assets in the country, and you can expect that more of that will occur. What are your thoughts? Please comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.